Okay, so we start. Okay. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so I will share my screen. Okay. So we already been doing part 1. Okay. So today we will do the part 2. So wait for a while because I'm trying to familiar with this computer. Normally I use my tablet. Okay. All right. So since it's a big topic, actually dependent origination is not something that you can finish in one day. So that's why I try to finish in 3 sessions. So today is a second session. Okay, so now this is the chart that you all will study because according to one of the meditation center called Mogok, they actually do really study on this chart again for the meditator to understand more about ignorance and the way to reduce to terminate the ignorance and how they can understand the Four Noble Truths by this way, and also how they can see cause and effect. Right, so we will go through this chart again. So what we do is we start with the normal chanting. So do some warm up. And while waiting for if other people is coming. Okay, so you all can join me in chanting. Okay, so everybody can join me in chanting. Okay, so we are going to okay, so everybody please join me.
Sanji. Good evening.
Okay, yes. So we will do the chanting, so please join me. Okay.
Sorry for being late. Yeah.
All right. Okay, we start. All right. Avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana, vijnana paccaya namalupam, namalupam paccaya salayatanam, salayatana paccaya bhasso, bhassa paccaya vedana, vedana paccaya tanha, tanha paccaya upadana, upadana paccaya bhavo, bhava paccaya jati, jati paccaya jara marana, sokha parideva, dukkha domana supayasa samavati. Ewa metasa, kevalasa, dukkha khandasa, samadayo hoti, ayang uchati bhikkhave, pacca samupado. Okay, so we can start, all right? The English, dependent on ignorance, formations arise. Dependent on formation, consciousness arises. Dependent on consciousness, mind and matter arise. Dependent on mind and matter, six sense bases arise. Dependent on six sense bases, contact arises. Dependent on contact, feeling arises. Dependent on feeling, craving arises. Dependent on craving, clinging arises. Dependent on clinging, existence arises. Dependent on existence, birth arises. Dependent on birth, aging, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, play arise. In this way, there is the
There
cause
is the
origin
origin
for the
for the
entire
entire
mass of suffering. This is said amongst dependent origination.
origination.
Okay, so we recite the Patiloma in the reverse one. Okay. Avidyaya eva asesya viraga nirodha sankhara nirodho sankhara nirodha vinyana nirodho vinyana nirodha namarupa nirodho namarupa nirodha kalayatana nirodho kalayatana nirodha hasa nirodha hasa nirodha vedana nirodho vedana nirodha tanha nirodho tanha nirodha upadana nirodho upadana nirodha bhava nirodho bhava nirodha nirodho jati nirodha jara marana Sukha parideva dukkha domana sayasa nirujanti eva mitasan kevalasa kandasa nirodo. Okay, so we read the English. With the entire passion and cessation of ignorance, formation ceases. With the cessation of formation, consciousness ceases. With the cessation of consciousness, mind matter ceases. With the cessation of mind matter, six senses cease. With the cessation of the six sense bases, contact ceases. With the cessation of the contact, feeling ceases. With the cessation of feeling, craving ceases. With the cessation of craving, clinging ceases. With the cessation of clinging, existence ceases. With the cessation of existence, birth ceases. With the cessation of birth, old age, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair cease. In such a way, is the cessation of the entire mass of suffering. Okay, thank you very much.
Sayaji, no sound, Sayaji.
All right, sorry. Yeah. Trying to familiarize with this computer. Okay, all right, so let me start. So link, all right, so there are three links. One is the link here, you can see the red color. This is the past period here. So there's a link between past and then the present period. So the present period actually divided to two. One is called the present resultant continuum, this side. And this is the present causal continuum. So between the present period and this present period, one is the resultant, one is the causal here. There's also a link here. So this link, if you notice, actually between the Vedana, this is the Pali word Vedana here, feeling. And between the Vedana, feeling and craving, Tanha. So there is a link here. And there's another link between this Kama Bhava and birth. So Kama Bhava is I hope I had explained previously. Okay. So you notice there's one link. There's no link here. So this link is between the past period, present period. And then the present period, resultant, and then the causal. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I hope these few days the line is not good. All right, so this is the three links talking about just now. So actually I want to show you the text together with the this one chart. Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to put the two screens together. Yeah. All right. All right. Link between the Sankhala and Vijnana. So this is the one. Sankhala and Vijnana. Link between the Vedana and Tanna. Vedana and Tanna. Link between the Kama Bhava and Jati. So there are three links here. So this one way. And there are three vata. So three vata in Pali called is Pali vata, is actually we just go around. So there are Klisa vata, Kama vata, and Vipaka vata. So if you see the chart, this is called Klisa vata. There are Kama vata, and there are Vipaka vata. So Klisa vata actually is a you can see it. Right. So the round of defilement, Klesa vata, leads to action. This means that if somebody do a defilement like craving or any defilement, the defilement is a cause, and it will create the it's also because of defilement, somebody will do something. So it leads to action. So you can see defilement is a cause and action karma. Karma here is talking about action is related to karma. Okay. It's a result. So when the karma is created, it leads to the result. So karma is the cause and vipaka is the result. So this means the round of action, karma vata, leads to round of result. So you have three. So in brief, if you just want to remember, klesa, it leads to the karma. And karma lead to vipaka. All right. So this is a shortcut way how to remember. So if you want to know K to K and to V. So in the charts, you will see this tree, Klesa vata. So if you see the link here, before the link, this avijja. Avijja is a defilement. Klesa is a defilement. So avijja, and then it follow all the way to craving and also clinging. So this is talking about the round of defilement, Klesa vata. And karma means action. The word karma is action, you know, is action. So it's refer to this sankhala. And there's one, and then to the kama bhava. Kama bhava is a action lead to the assistant. Bhava is assistant here, has an assistant. So this is number two. There's only two things here. Just now, Klesa vata has three, which is the avijja, ignorance, craving, tanna, and upadana. So klesa, you can see the round here. Klesa defilement lead to the karma. And karma will lead to the vipaka. So vipaka is put here. Vipaka, what's the meaning of vipaka? Vipaka means the result. So what is the result of karma? Because of we done something in the past karma, the result will be consciousness, mind matter, six sense bases, contact, and feeling. So this means that in this part is all the resultant. So this one is also resultant. Okay, so you have two. This is resultant and this is also resultant. So we look at the text again. So klesa, three. Ignorance, avidya, craving, tanha, and clinging upadana. Karma is two. Sankhara, formation, and then the karma bhava. Vipaka is the result. So we have consciousness, mind matter, six sense bases, contact, feeling, rebirth, aging, sickness, and so on. So far, if you have no problem, then I will continue. Because if you don't understand this one, then the next one will be difficult for you all. Okay.
Saraji,
Any question? Yes.
just now the chart, it shows that the vipaka is 8.
Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They include this upapati bhava. Upapati bhava is actually jati, rebirth. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So these two are same.
okay.
Yeah. That's why if I calculate, I put 7 only because I don't put the upapati bhava. Anyway, it's a good question. So you want to put 7 or you want to put 8 also can. So 8, 8 including the right. So if you have this, then you have the next one. I think it's double. So this dictionary, I already told you all for those who study Pali. So you can install this dictionary, very good for you to check the something wrong with it. Okay, never mind. All right, so there are 4 sections. These 4 sections come because we had 3 periods, past, present, and future, and we have cause and effect. So if you see the chart, this is called one part, one session. This is another one. This is the third one and fourth. We have the past period. This is called past causal continuum. So it's one section here. And this is the period, it's a present period, but it's because to do with the result, like feeling, contact, sex and base, mind, better, or because all these are result, it's a vipaka. So this one present resultant continuum. So this second one. Third session will be this one, present causal continuum, because it's to do with the cause here, craving, clinging, karma bhava, all these are cause. And fourth is the future. It's the future, but it's a future resultant. So later we'll explain why it's resultant. Okay. So we have 4. So you have a 4 causal with 2. I try to put this and this together so you all can see. All right. So past causal, this one, with 2. There is the avidya and sankhara, ignorance and formation. Present resultant, this one. You have the consciousness, mind matter, six sense, and then the contact and feeling is a 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And present causal with 3. So you have the craving, clinging, and karma bhava, 3. Future resultant, you can put 2 or 3 if you want. It's a jati, upapati, jara, marana, 2 or 3. So we can put 2 or we can put here it put as 5. Okay. 2 or 3. 3 also can. With the jati, upa, pati, be double P, yeah, power, and jaramara. Okay. So then, according to pen origination, you have 20. How you get the numbers? right? So you notice there are 5 here. This first section have 5. Second section also got 5. Third section also got 5, and this also got 5. Then where is the 5? You can see it's mentioned here, avijja, sankhara, tanna, upadana, bhava. So these are 5 mentioned here. And this also 5. You cannot see because I put the English here. And this is also 5. You already mentioned here. And this is future also 5. It look very complicated if you just study the chart, but we look at the logic, it's easy. Nice. You have the 5 is past. Okay. So this is the past period, and it's a cause because avijja and sankhara is a cause. So this is the past. Because when you take out the avijja, ignorance, which belong to the klesa vata, rounds of defilement, you have to include other defilements. There is a craving and clinging, tanna and upadana. And then, so this means that when you take the avijja, you have to take this craving and clinging also, because avijja is a klesa vata, right? So when you take avijja, you have to take these 2 also. So when you take 1, you have to take these 2, so you got 3 already. So when you take kamma bhava, you have to take sankhara. This means that when you take this sankhara, which is the kamma vata, is a action here. Sankhara means that last time I mentioned is a 10 good action or 10 bad action. So when you take this kamma, sankhara, you have to take the kamma bhava, right? So when you take 1, you take another one, so you got 2. So just now avijja, you take 1, you have to include 2, so you got 3. You take sankhara 1, you have to take this one, so you got 2. So 3 plus 2, so you got 5. So past resultant is 5. And then present resultant with 5. So this is easy. So this is a present time, but it's a resultant because the consciousness, mind, matter, all these are resultant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So present resultant with 5, you have consciousness, mind, matter, session basis, content, and feeling. So this is easy. So you got 5 already. So in brief, it's talking about mind, matter, and 5 aggregates. So present causal continuum. It's like just now. So when you take the y is here is 5. This side also 5. Because when you take the clinging and craving, you also have to take avijja. So you take 2 plus avijja is 3. So when you take the kamma bhava, you also have to take the sankhara because they belong to nature of the action. So you take 1, you take this one, so you got 2. So this means that totally will be 5. Okay. So this explanation is same with the number 1. Now, future resultant is 5. It's a consciousness, mind, matter, six sense basis, content, and feeling. So future resultant, we are talking about this side. All right, this is called future resultant. In detail, it's like jati, upapati, and then jara marana. So this is just the sign of aging or of the 5 aggregates. So future resultant is birth, aging, and death. So these are the characteristics of the mind, matter, and 5 aggregates, but they are not ultimate truth. So the future resultant is same as present resultant in ultimate reality. So this means that all these are aging, death, and then birth. In nature, they are just characteristics of the 5 aggregates. So this means that we still have to take the 5 aggregates here because consciousness, mind, matter, session basis, contact, feeling, all these are 5 aggregates. So when you look at this, even though it's mentioned 3, it's actually talking about 5. This is talking about this 5. So this means that when you take the part 1, you have to take the part 3, all these together. So when you take this part 2, is you have 5. But when you're taking this part 4, which is a characteristic of 5 aggregate, you still have to come back to here. So that's why the nature is 5. So can follow? This is a little bit complicated, but the logic is there. So any question up to here? All right. So if no question or you're trying to digest, doesn't matter. Because I will share this article with you all. Okay. So hopefully still got battery. Yeah. All right. Now we going to this one. It's a different way of linking or different way of maybe don't use the word, different way of connecting, right? So how does this dependent original flow? So normally we always start like avijja, pacha, sankhara, sankhara, pacha, vijnana. We start with this all the way from here. Avijja, pacha, sankhara, sankhara, pacha, vijnana. Avijja is the cause, sankhara is the result. Then sankhara, pacha, sankhara is the cause, and then the conscious is the result. So it will be go one round in this way. Okay. But according to text, it's possible contemplation start with the aging and death, then go to birth. From birth, then you consider why, then you know it's karma bhava. Karma bhava because of clinging because of craving because you have feeling because you have contact and sex experiences all the way to here. So when contemplate dependent origination, it's possible to start from the last one, the last item in the dependent origination. So it can start with this way also, all the way go here. And also, according to text, it's also possible start with like craving from the middle here, it start all the way to here. Okay. Or from here, from the feeling, it go this way because there are different teaching done by the Buddha. So it's possible not just the avijja and then all the way to the jara marana. So it can go in a few ways. So there are different ways. First one is forward. Means start from the ignorance till the aging and death. That's one way. And backward. This means that you start with aging and death and then all the way to the ignorance. Okay, so it's also one way. So it's also possible to start from middle, which is the craving. Craving is the middle here, all right? Or sometimes start with the feeling also possible. So from the craving to ignorance or the middle to end, start from the craving and then to the rebirth consciousness and to the rebirth and so on. Okay. So there are different ways of how we can see dependent origination. Now I just copy one text I searched today from the Tipitaka. So you can see here, it's talking about the number 2, backward. Now, according to this, that jara maranam pajanati. Pajanati means no. So somebody, they is a auntie, okay? Somebody know the jara maranam. Then they know the jara marana samudaya, the cause of aging and death. Then they see the cessation, nirodha, of the aging and death. Then all the way, they go to jati, bhava, upadana, tanna, vedana, and so on. So until they find all the way to sankhara. So this means that from this, it's possible to contemplate from the jara marana, means that the aging and death, all the way backward to the sankhara. So this one of the texts you can find in Tipitaka. Also another one is from the craving to ignorance. So it's one of the texts, like somebody try to know what is about food, what is the cause of the food, cause of the food which has the tanha is craving, which is based on the craving. So from this article, it starts from the tanha. Tanha is a craving. So instead, start from the avijja, it's possible to start from the middle. There's a craving here. So from the craving, then go to understand the feeling, vedana. Then from the vedana, all the way to passo, contact, until all the way to sankhara. Then sankhara to avijja. So you can see from this one, it starts from the to do with the food, because everybody in the whole life, everybody is busy looking for food, enjoy all the food. So maybe the Buddha trying to preach the Dhamma talk from the Dhamma from the food, because it's concerned with everybody. So here from the to do with the food, with the craving all the way to avijja. So this is also one way we can see the connection, how we, so different way of linking in the dependent origination from forward, backward, middle to forward, or middle to middle to the front, yeah, to the start, okay, middle to start, or middle to the starting point, okay, middle to the ending point. So there's a different way we can see it. Right? Now, okay, importance of dependent origination. So one who sees dependent origination sees the Dhamma. One sees the Dhamma, sees dependent origination. Because this is really from the Tipitaka, you can see this. Paticca samuppadam pasati. It's the object here, acquisitive case. One who sees dependent origination, so he subject Dhammam, he see the Dhamma. Yo Dhammam pasati, one who see the Dhamma, he see the dependent origination. This means that just by knowing the dependent origination, you'll be able to understand more, penetrate the truth, understand the teaching of the Dhamma. And also another favorite statement is Imasami sati idam hoti, imasuk pada idam upajati. When there is this and that things become, or with the arising of this, that arises. Or when there is no this, that thing does not become. So with the cessation of this is cessation of that become. So actually it's trying to talk about cause and effect. When one thing comes, another thing will come. When one thing does not come, another thing does not come. Okay. All right. So when we are talking about the like this, okay, but understand the dependent origination, you can understand the Four Noble Truth. Because the five aggregates and matter is the truth of suffering. Craving, you know, is the second noble truth, truth origin. So if you look at this chart, you can see you have the only dukkha satcha. Dukkha satcha is the first noble truth because it's talking about five aggregates. And this is also dukkha satcha, the first noble truth, because this is also birth, aging, and death is a characteristic of five aggregates. And it's talking about craving. Craving is a samudaya satcha. It's the second noble truth, the truth of origin or truth of the cause. Because talking about craving, you have to link with ignorance. So this is also samudaya satcha, the second noble truth. So in the dependent origination, you will have the first noble truth, dukkha satcha, and you also got the second noble truth. Okay. All right. So if you really study dependent origination, you understand the cause and effect of life, not only in one life, in past, present, and future, and at each moment of life. And it also shows there's no first cause. So even if you are trying to find the first one, the very first item in dependent origination is ignorance, but ignorance, it also has a cause. So which is asava, cankers. So there are four types of cankers. So there is essential desire, kamasava. Then we have the bhavasawa, the desire, it's a canker of existence, and then a wrong view, so dikkhasawa, and then canker of ignorance, so avijjasawa. So what is canker? So it called outflow because it flow out from the six sense organs to the external world and produce the unwholesome actions. So unlike other religions, they are trying to know about the first cause. But in Buddhism, we don't have the first cause. Buddha talked about conditionality. This means that the whole world is subject to cause and effect or action and reaction. So there's nothing in the cosmos that is causeless or unconditioned. So even the teaching of the Venerable Asaji to Sariputra, so at that time he's ascetic. He just sum up the teaching of the Buddha in terms of cause and effect. So this is very famous one. Ye Dhamma hetu pabhava, Tesam hetun tathagata. Aha, tesam chayo nirodo evam vadi. Maha samano. For whatever Dhamma bono cause the Tathagata say about their cause and their station. So in this teaching of the Asaji to Saiputra, it's talking about everything born of cause. The Tathagata, the Buddha already mentioned the cause and the cessation. So here you can see the cause and cessation of the cause. So when there's no cause, and then there will be no result. So in a short way, it's talking about cause and effect also. And also, by dependent origination, there are various types of a wrong view that is such as sasata, ucheda, and then the akriya, and then ahetuka. All right. Sasata ditti, so we call it the eternalism belief or belief. He believes that like the same soul or same being is the same person that reborn in the next life. So even at the Buddha time, there's one monk, his name is Sakti. You know, he has a wrong view. He say he understands that as the Dhamma taught by the Buddha, it's the same consciousness that transmigrate a wonder in life. Because he heard the Dhamma talk, he always heard like this person passed away, he reborn another place as somebody. So when he heard that this kind of Dhamma talk, he thought it's the same consciousness that really wander in this samsara. But when we see the dependent origination, we understand that there will be new consciousness, new mind and matter reborn in the next life. So we can see here, because of avidya due to sankhara, and the next person is not the same person, but it's a new consciousness, new mind, matter, new sense space. It's not the same person coming here. I think I have to wait for a while. Okay, you all wait for a while because I have to recharge my computer. It's going to be down already. So please wait for a while. Yeah, I think now I have to plug in the battery to charge my computer. All right, so this is one of the wrong view that can be eradicated actually about this Sasata Ditti. Sasata Ditti is not easy to eradicate because a lot of people believe that even like when you pass away, you still have the idea, when I pass away, I will be born again. Or is the same being that will be born in the next life. Even the Sati, you can see, even at the Buddha time, there's a monk who stay near the Buddha, listen to his Dhamma talk, he still had the wrong view. All right, so Sasata Ditti is not easy to eradicate it. But if you really understand about dependent origination, you understand about new consciousness and new matter will be reborn. So it will eradicate this wrong view. So next one, another one, Ucheda Ditti. Ucheda Ditti means is the, we call it annihilation belief. It's talking about just belief that after death, there's no being or is reborn again. Or you're talking about when somebody believes after they pass away, everything just stops. You know, it's like after death, nothing is concerned with him because he is not there anymore. So this belief can be eradicated by seeing that as long as there is craving and clinging, there is karma bhava and birth, rebirth, and also upapati bhava. So it's like when somebody see this, as long as he has done the action, they were clinging, and karma bhava. So because of these, all these are exist, so they will be rebirth, and then they will be aging death. So the person will still face the rebirth and so on. So it's not that after he passed away, there's no more rebirth. And akriyadiki. So it's this is talking about non-action, right? Akriya is non-action or belief. We just believe that action is just somebody do the action, okay, and it just disappear. They will not be causing any result at all. But when you try to see, there will be 3 rounds: the Kilesawata, rounds of defilement, Kamawata, rounds of action, and you can see Vipaka Wata. There's a result there. So you can see all these rounds go continue, non-stop, continue and on. So when there will be a cause, there will be a result there. So this will deny this akriyadiki. So another one is ahetukadiki. This is a wrong view about non-cause or causes. It's a view that cling to the cause. So it just deny that every cause for corruptness or purity of being. So it just believe that everything is just predestined by fate. So this can be rejected by understanding good karma. If you have good karma, it causes the good action, and bad karma will cause the bad action, bad result. So in Buddhism, it's not fixed karma, but you can change the better fate by doing good things and avoid the evil deeds. So another one is also denies by believing, understand the dependent origination, denies the theory of self, strict determinism, and complete indeterminism. So strict determinism is belief that everything is fated. Nothing can change to change things, right? Nothing can be done to change things. Complete indeterminism means that everything just happened by random. So they don't have any cause. So it's possible by just understand dependent origination, you deny these two. Okay, so I will stop for a while and then any questions so far? So you all can ask. Anybody want to ask? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wonder that, there is 3 link here. Is there a purpose for this link?
Yeah. It's for the meditation. So this question will be answered.
Oh,
Next,
okay.
next one.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Some more questions? All right. If no more question, I'll continue. All right. So maybe we can finish this by today. Now, how to meditate, where and how to break the links. So one thing about now as you learn a lot of Dhamma, you need to study, even you in your life, you need to study the Dhamma, or in your work or in your worldly text. You need to study hard, but you also need to study smart. So also when you meditate, you need to meditate with the right way, with the smart way. Smart way means you have the right view. So that's why listening to dependent origination, like knowing patana, all these are very important. You start with the right view. And hard way means that, as you know, when you go for retreat, you need to practice continuously. So you need to have a good way, smart way, hard, and also hard way, right? So that's why when you learn about dependent origination, you are trying to be smart in to know what is the best way to reduce the defilements and what is the best way to gain more good merits. Now, method 1 is to reduce and terminate the ignorance. All right. So we are going to start how we should meditate. So we can meditate on this point, avijja. ignorance, because this is starting point. Like when you try to catch a snake, so when you try to catch a snake, you don't catch the snake tail, is very dangerous. So you should catch hold the snake head, which is like this. So the avijja is likened to the snake head, because it's the most important thing and most main cause for the samsara. So avijja is ignorance. So you need to reduce the ignorance and delusion. So previously I already mentioned ignorance and delusion. So ignorance is not knowing the Four Noble Truths. Moha is talking about knowing in the wrong way, like anicca, dukkha, anatta. He see in the opposite way as everything is happy, permanence, and belong to this self. So we need to cultivate wisdom and knowledge to reduce the ignorance and delusion. There are many methods. I think you all know. You need to listen to Dhamma, and you need to read more Dhamma books, and you also need to approach those get near the knowledgeable teacher and Kalyana Mitra, good or noble friends. You learn from them. And also it's important, like when you're in meditation center or in any place, you should ask questions to clear your doubts, because doubt is a hindrance to meditation and spiritual progress. So main thing is a doubt on the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and meditation practice. So that's why in Myanmar, in this one center, actually it has many hundreds branch, like Mahasi Center is very famous. They have hundreds of center, Mogok Center. So they focus on understand dependent origination and reduce ignorance. Even like one day, for example, when you go to retreat, maybe only 3 hours, but they can have like 6 hours, 7 hours, or sometimes like during the lunchtime, they also listen to Dhamma talk, because this is the best way to reduce your ignorance by understanding the dependent origination. So this one way to break this dependent origination, just start with the ignorance. So this is the best, because it's like head, you capture the head. So method 2 is breaking the 3 links. So that's why these 3 links, you can see there are 1 link here, there are 2 links here, and 3 links here. So which one is easy, or which one we can achieve in this life? So link 2 is a link between the feeling, this one, feeling and craving. Okay, so this two. It's a present period and present period. So one called present resultant. So another one called present causal. Right. So they can be broken in this present life, because you can contemplate all the feeling as impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Thus, no craving, hatred, ignorance will arise. So this circle or this side can be broken. So this means that when anything feeling comes, you can contemplate it. So if you can see everything is all the feeling or anything in all these are 5 aggregates, all arise and pass away. So in permanent suffering non-self, then there will be no craving. So it does not come here. So you can break it here. So this can be done by one of the, I think you all heard this, bare attention. So it's just a clear and single-minded awareness of things happen to us, around us at the successive moments. So successive moments means that you have to continue to note moment to moment. So your mindfulness is continuous. It's called bar, okay? Attention to just the bare fact of perception. So things happen in your sixth sense though. So you just, like you see something, you hear something, but you don't get engaged with it. So you just understand that the object comes and understand the object goes. So you don't just react to it. So you just pay attention at this, but don't pay too much. So you have to meditate every moment. When the object appears in your sixth sense door, so there's no defilement can arise here. So because normally when the object is present, so there will be good feeling. When good feeling comes, craving will occur. When the object is unpleasant, then the bad feeling will arise. So there will be hatred. So when craving and hatred occur, delusion will also take place. Okay. So here, normally when there's a good feeling, there will be craving. All right, so the linking is here. But even if the feeling is bad, there's a bad feeling, there will not be craving, but there will be hatred. But behind the hatred, there will be also craving for good feeling. So when there bad feeling, also the craving arise. So when the craving comes, the ignorance, delusion will come. So that's why all the feelings should be contemplated as a impermanent suffering non-self. So the link will be broken, so the flow will not come here. So you can break at this here. There's one way we can break the link. Okay. So the link number 3. All right. So we are talking about link number 3 here. Is between the karma bhava and then the birth. Karma bhava is an action for existence, and then this actual birth. So how can we break here? So when somebody attend arahantship, there's no more rebirth. Okay, there's no more rebirth. So arahant can do action. This means arahant can do good deeds. Of course, arahant will not do any bad deeds, but his action will not create any result, coming result, because he has totally destroyed the ignorance. So he has no future rebirth. So this link will broken when somebody has no more rebirth. It's only happen when they reach the final stage as an arahantship. Okay, so the only link that we can break actually is only this link. This link will not happen because when somebody already have the ignorance of past life, they already conscious start in our life. So we cannot break this one. So we only can break here. So this is the only link. So you notice the chart is very interesting. There's an arrow pointing here. And this is considered the main factor or main part is the ignorance and craving. So all the arrow pierce and destroy the ignorance and craving, and all the way until they break this link and you can see the arrow, right? The arrow actually penetrate, destroy the ignorance and craving and come out here. So you can see the link here is broken by this arrow. That's how they're trying to explain how we can contemplate this dependent origination, which is actually we call it the samsara. Because samsara means the rebirth, repeated rebirth and death. So this circle, dependent origination, also call it circle or wheel of life. So that's why it go rounds and rounds and rounds, because the Krisa Vata defilement will lead to action. Action will all the way leads to the result. So Krisa Vata, Kama Vata, and then the Vipaka Vata. Right? So their third method, according to this Upanishad Sutta. So this is an interesting sutta because it is talking about another way that we can meditate. All right. So please join me in reading. Okay, so everybody please join me. So you all okay. Iti ko bhikkhave aviju panisaya sankara sankarupanisam vinyanam vinyanupanisam namarupam namaruponisam salayatanam salayatanupanisho paso pasopanisa vedana vedanupanisa tana tanu pinsam upadanam upadanupaniso bhavo bhavu nipasa jati jatu nipasam dukham. Okay, so we read the English. Thus, monks, ignorance is a supporting condition for karma formation. Karma formations are the supporting condition for consciousness. Consciousness is a supporting action for mentality and materiality. Mentality, materiality is a supporting condition for the sixfold sense base. The sixfold sense base is a supporting condition for contact. Contact is a supporting condition for feeling. Feeling is a supporting condition for craving. Craving is a supporting condition for clinging. Clinging is a supporting condition for existence. Existence is a supporting condition for birth. Birth is a supporting condition for suffering. Okay, you can see here, it starts with the ignorance. It all the way normal for go forward until the birth. It's still doing the same thing. All right. So from here, it's interesting. It's talking about different type of contemplation. So okay, we read the Pali. Dukho panisa sada sadu panisam pamojam pamoju panisa piti pitu panisa pasadi pasadu panisam sukham sukho paniso samadhi samadu panisam yada buddha jnana dasana yada buddha jnana dasanu panisa nibida nibidu paniso virago panisa vimutu panisam kaye jnanam. Okay, so we read the English. Okay, suffering is a supporting condition for faith. Faith is a supporting condition for joy. Joy is a supporting condition for rapture. Rapture is a supporting condition for tranquility. Tranquility is a supporting condition for happiness. Happiness is a supporting condition for concentration. Concentration is a supporting condition for the knowledge and vision of things as they really are. The knowledge and vision of things as they really are the supporting condition for disenchantment. Disenchantment is a supporting condition for dispassion. Dispassion is a supporting condition for emancipation and liberation. And emancipation and liberation is a supporting condition for the knowledge and destruction
of
the
cancers.
Okay, cankers. All right. So you can see here, from here it start with this avidya, ignorance, all the way to birth. So this is normal. Okay, so start from this. All the way to birth. So this is the normal flow. Okay. And then from here, so after you start with the birth, then continue with suffering, right? So suffering cause the fate. Fate cause the joy, rapture. Then rapture cause the tranquility, happiness, concentration. Then because of good concentration, there will be knowledge and vision of things as they really are. This means that somebody have a good vipassana. They can see the things really are. Really are means that they see things as anicca dukkha anatta. Then when they see things like anicca dukkha anatta, they got this enchantment means that no craving. So they have this passion. Then they have liberation from the defilements, from the cankers. All right. So for this sutta, we need to understand suffering because it's above talking about suffering. So here, how they understand the suffering? So we go back again just now. All right. Suffering is because the dependent origination start from the avidya, but it ends here with the birth. So after the birth is a supporting condition for the suffering. So here means that by doing the dependent origination, understand dependent origination, you understand birth is the suffering because when they are birth, there's aging, sickness, death, and then you have to face all sorts of suffering. Because of suffering, all right, then you have faith. What kind of faith? In Buddhist teaching, in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Because you already say all five aggregates means that five aggregates means the start of the rebirth. All the five aggregates are suffering. So when you have faith, there will be joy, rapture, tranquility, and happiness. So based on faith, based on the sada, then you have all these good mental states that can support meditation practice. So this is also a smart way, you know. So if you need to have you want to meditate good, you need to have a joy, happiness, all this joy, rapture, tranquility, happiness. But in order to have this, you need to have faith. In order to have faith, you need to understand the suffering. So this you can see. So when you have happiness, is sukha. So when the mind is peaceful, sukha actually there are various translations. Sometimes they call it happiness, but another meaning actually is peaceful. So when you have a peaceful mind, you have good concentration. So when you have good concentration, concentration means that your mind can focus on the object, focus well. So then you have mindfulness, then you can see things as impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So when you see things not worthy to cling as mine, why? Because you see things always changing, all the suffering and non-self, you don't cling as mine. Then you have this enchantment, you have this passion to all the mental and physical phenomena. As such, the mind attains the liberation from the defilements and kangers. So this is also one way. So this way is interesting because you base on the avidya, ignorance, you go all the way here to the birth. So after the birth, you see the suffering. So from the suffering, based on the suffering, you have faith and so on. So this is also one method that I explained just now. So this method also, according to this sutta, so I also get to know this sutta when I do some research on the dependent origination. So this sutta is very interesting. The name of this sutta is called Upanisa Sutta. So it's in the, so you can find in the Samyutta Nikaya, in the Nidana Samyutta. So in the Samyutta Nikaya, this is a big section, Nidana. Nidana is talking about causation. So under the Dasa Balavaga, right? Or you can find on the internet on this one. So this one way. The number 4 is reduce the clinging. So then another method is try to break down here, reduce the clinging and craving. Because of meditation, the purpose of meditation is actually to reduce this one. So clinging will occur when there's craving, all right? Clinging to things and people are actually strong form of craving. So what is the craving and clinging? Craving is a weak one. Clinging is a strong craving, all right? So craving and clinging actually you can say come together. So by reducing the craving, the clinging will cease. When you don't have clinging, then the clinging will bring the karma bhava. So when there's no clinging, then there will be no karma bhava. So you can actually stop the flow to this one, all right? Because it's only possible to reduce craving and in the meditation time, yeah. So craving is the middle of the dependent origination. So by weakening and breaking out the craving and clinging, the cycle of dependent origination cannot continue smoothly. Okay, so yeah, there's I think.
So Sagi, this one,
yes.
Sagi, this one is more of the present moment, no?
Yes,
Consciousness.
yes.
So
Yeah.
we check our mind every time, so we stop the link there.
Yes, because if you are talking about meditation, you only can do it in the present period, right? You cannot do it in the past because whatever past is difficult to do. But for the past, we are talking about, if talking about ignorance, you can try to break this one because this is the main cause, right? Or that's why we can see, if you're talking about this link, you can see craving and then the avidya, ignorance. So we can try to break this one because this is the main cause. But what we can do actually is just meditate on the feeling to craving. So this is the one link we can break. Other is not possible. This only can be break when somebody become arahant. There will be no future rebirth. Right? So this is the only thing we can break here. Okay. Beside Brother Ong, anybody want to ask something? So, or actually I do finish already on this. It's not so bad. We can take 2 days to finish this dependent origination. So in case one, yes. Yeah.
This method, just now you was mentioned, the reducing the clinging. The form Brahma Vihara is also a form of reducing the clinging, especially the metta, right? And generosity is also one form of reducing.
Right. Yes. It's actually any good meditation practice that promote good mind does reduce clinging and craving to some extent, but not total. Because even the Brahma, they will be craving for future rebirth, right? Because even Brahma will wish, may I reborn as a Brahma, may I stay there long time, may I enjoy the good meditation in the Brahma. So the avijja is still there, the ignorance is still there. Okay.
So it's more of reducing the clinging rather than the tanha.
Yeah, no, craving and clinging, these two.
Okay.
Okay. So because this is I mean, theoretically, we understand anything we can meditate is actually on the present time, on a present period. So this is the only way we can break. Yeah. But of course, we can break on the avijja, because avijja and tanha, this is we call it the hub of the wheel. This is the main cause, these two. So we try to reduce the avijja. So that's why a lot of sutta is talking about why you listen to so many Dhamma talk is because trying to reduce on the ignorance and delusion. Okay.
But actually, tanha, this moha is actually very subtle. As you go deeper, it becomes very subtle. We may not be even aware the avijja's existence. Is it?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Because the
Tanha
avijja been with us since long time. No, this life is been with us for many since a long time. You know, it's not only this life.
okay.
So
Thank you.
it's okay. So that's why if you look at this chart, they say craving is the main cause for present life, all right? And then avijja is the main cause for the past. Of course, future also, because avijja is A in the 3 periods. So any other questions? This
So,
already
Sagi,
finished the dependent origination. Yeah.
Sagi, so actually the link is at breaking the link is at Vedana.
Yes.
That's the most vulnerable point now. So actually the
right.
method will be a very good one because they focus on feeling all the while.
Yeah, because 5 aggregates, when 5 aggregate comes, they will be feeling. So this is the best way, because feeling is very strong, you know. With so many things, feeling is like they experience like the king enjoy the good food. So feeling is the easiest to meditate. That's why out of the 5, you know, in the 5 aggregates, why you take out the feeling especially? Do you know that?
Because it's
So,
very obvious.
prominent. Yeah, very prominent. So you have okay. So we are talking about the feeling here. So most of the time we meditate on the feeling, because feeling is every time we either good feeling or bad feeling or neutral feeling. So any feeling is always cause the so all the feeling you just have to contemplate, you know. Yeah.
So do you have any
impermanent suffering.
experience in the Goenka method?
No, not Mogok.
Goenka.
Goenka, I haven't go there. But Goenka is they also not on feeling, but actually they also practice the Satipatthana also, you know.
Yeah, but it's not based on feeling actually. I went to one course.
Okay. But actually, even though they say they are doing the body scanning for the feeling, but even if
very-
like
very
say that,
close.
but actually they also based on the 4 Satipatthana.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. So any other questions from other students? Yeah, other participant listener. Yeah.
Sayaji,
Yes.
so for this dependent origination, the key contemplation will be anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Right. Yeah.
Correct?
Yes. Everything is still based on we call it the actual practice, you know. Actual practice, you still have to remember here, consciousness, mind, matter, sex and basis, contact, feeling, all these are talking about 5 aggregates. So out of the 5 aggregates, which one is more easy to meditate? You can meditate on the lupa, the body. You also can meditate on the feeling. You also can meditate on the perception or on the other things. But actually the easiest one will be feeling also, except your body. Your body, actually, body and feeling, these two are easy to meditate, you know. But if you want to meditate on your consciousness, like the Ming, yeah, it's also possible, because all these are 5 aggregates, and they are all belong to the dukkha satya. The aggregate of suffering is also necessary for anybody to even have to understand about the Four Noble Truths. That's why by understand dependent origination, you get to know Two Noble Truths. Dukkha Satya about 5 aggregates, and then Samudaya Satya is a cause. There is a clinging, craving, and so on. So by understand dependent origination, you also start to understand about the Four Noble Truths also. Okay. All right. So any meditation center you go, it's still, you can contemplate on your consciousness. You can contemplate on mind matter. You can contemplate on your sixth sense basis. You can contemplate on your feeling. All these are possible because they are part of the Dukkha Satya. All right. The purpose is to stop from the craving, clinging, and Kama Bhava. But you also can meditate on this suffering. You know, you can meditate on all sorts of suffering like aging, death, or when somebody passed away, you have a sorrow, lamentation. You can also start from here. Then from here, if you are wise enough, you can compare all this suffering come because of birth. Birth come because of Kama Bhava. Kama Bhava come because of clinging, because of craving. Then you go all the way around. So you also can start like just now from the backward, from the last item, you all meditate to the one. Or you can start from here, craving all the way to here, or you can start with the ignorance, avijja. Because of the defilement, avijja, ignorance, and then all the way you can notice it. So there's many ways you can see this dependent origination. All right. But the actual practice is only talking about present mind, present time, present moment. This link on it, you can break here. That's why if you really notice this chart is very interesting. You can see the arrow, you know, how the arrow penetrate here to break this hub. Like this is a wheel. We call it the wheel of life. This is the main one. If you look at the wheel, the main part is the hub. If this hub is broken, all these are, we call it the spokes, all the link, all these were broke. If this is the main part, the hub is broken. All right. Then it stop all these round, these 3 rounds, Klesavata, Kamavata, and then the Vipavavata. All these are Pali, but it's I think not so difficult to learn also. And here you can see what is a cause. There are past cause, there are present result, and then all these past and then cause. So these charts look difficult because how many things you have to learn together. So we go back to the beginning. So I just do a quick review because I already mentioned last week. So you have to understand about, there are a few things here. We find the 11 factors, 12 factors in dependent origination. There will be 2 roots, 2 truths, 3 periods, 3 links, 3 rounds, 4 sections, 20 factors. So you have to understand all this in detail before you understand the chart. That's why this chart, it looks so complicated, but it's not so complicated if you understand this one, all these things together. All right. So how many things you have to know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 small things you have to know in detail. Okay, so if no question, so we will just finish today. All right, so yes.
Can I ask, so on this dependent origination is beneficial to understand for meditation. What about Patana? How does Patana come into helps in meditation, for example?
Patana helps in terms of, actually Patana is not for everybody. Patana is more on Abhidhamma, you know. So it actually sharpens the wisdom. Like we say, either you have to study hard or you have to study smart. So which one do you prefer? Hard or smart? You
Both
want to study? Yes, you need both, right. So Patana is study smart. So for example, you see the object. So when your eyes or your ear hear the sound. So at that time, what is between the 24 Patana? So which one take place? Like for example, the sound right now that's chanting here, it will be Aramana Pachaya. So the there will be object condition. Yeah. Then there will be like there will be craving, so loba dosa moha, so there will be hetu pacheyo, you know. And depend on the object, then the consciousness arise, so there will be nisaya pacheyo, you know. So and then when the consciousness arise, and then the associate dhamma will come together, so there will be sampayutta, you know. So it's for those who I say the mind will be very want to be very sharp to understand the patthana. That's why the Buddha go to the heaven. You know why? Not to the human, because only the Deva mind is sharp enough. Because the human, even like us, you can see we have to eat, we have to sleep. Now, like one day, 7 hours not enough. 8 hours you need to sleep, right? So why? Because our body weak, our mental also, mind also weak. So in the Deva, do they need to sleep? They don't need to sleep. They also, some of them don't need to eat also, like Brahma. They live on the piti joy, right? So that's why patthana is not for everybody, but we can study to some extent to help us in meditation. I think last time I the Dhamma talk on the patthana, maybe in a KL or Penang, I think, yeah. Just some overview for the students to get to know the patthana, you know. But you don't need to go so detailed, because in meditation time, you don't have time to go and meditate. Oh, this is the aramana pacheyo, this is the hetu pacheyo. It's not needed. But briefly, even like patthana, we can say is talking about cause and effect. Even like dependent origination of vijja pacheya sankara, sankara pacheya vijnana. You know, there is what is cause, what is effect. Patthana is talking about cause and effect. Like the sound is the cause for hearing consciousness. So you just need to know what is cause and what is effect. Somebody hear this Dhamma, many times they say, why is the Buddha only talking about cause and effect? Right? Because it's very basic in Buddhism. You know, that's why we do good deeds. Because we understand about cause and effect. There's a karma, there will be a vipaka, the result of the karma. That's why we do good deeds. So if we don't believe in cause and effect, why do we do good deeds? Right? Yeah. Okay. So your answer is that patthana is not really needed for meditation, but if you want to sharpen your mind, it's possible. So when your mind is very sharp, it's easy to see, to break the ignorance and delusion. Okay.
Because when I look at it, it's probably more suitable for teachers, those who are teaching. Then they may need to look at it from different perspectives, where they explain because of the needs of their students.
Right. Yeah. It's needed for us teacher to have some knowledge of patthana. Yeah. Because you know the student asks all sorts of questions. So sometimes they ask different experience, different explanation for everybody. Yeah. But actually it's possible to meditate, but not so much, because when you hear the sound, you cannot just say, oh, this is a sampayutta, this is a hetu, this is nistaya. Nobody will meditate in this way. But the mind, if you use, I would say, if your mind used to think about this or used to consider this, then the answer come very fast. This aramana pacheya is very fast.
But then it also can be influenced by sanya, because the perceptions can be very strong, and they perceive that they thought that they see it, they think that they see it, or because sometimes one may not be very mindful, but then because of the thinking mind going on, that means there is not enough clarity of the mind, then they will use the thinking mind, and the thinking mind can mislead one to believe that, well, I'm observing this and that, is it? So the concept comes into play rather than reality.
Yeah. It depends on the perception. That's why we have one Pali word we call it sanya vipalasa. It's like we call it the distortion of the perception.
View,
yeah,
perception.
the perception will lead us to see wrong way. For example, when you see somebody, you automatically see as a man, as a woman, you know. But actually, everything is all the human, all the animals, all these are mind matter. Yeah, but we don't see them as mind matter. We see them as a group of man, woman, or whatever. So the perception takes place all the time. That's why in the 5 aggregates, perception is taken out, you know, out of the 52 mental factors, the feeling and perception, which they are actually cetasika. These two are taken out as a main factor in the 5 aggregates. Yeah. because
Can we
feeling,
say that because they are dominant? Because these are very dominant.
yeah, dominant and predominant. Yeah, dominant in some way, and also predominant. Because all according to the Abhidhamma, all the cetasika and consciousness, they arise together, but only one plays important part at one time. Like when you hear something, maybe that at that time consciousness it plays important part. So when there's a good feeling, then feeling plays an important part, right? So when anger comes at that time, anger is more important than feeling, right? So it's like we call it five aggregate is like part of our hand, right? You need five to work together, right? Our five hand, you need five to work together, but only maybe one is more predominant at one time. Okay. So
Okay.
meditation is talking about how we actually very the answer is easy. It just try to reduce the defilements as much as we can and try to cultivate the good thoughts as much as we can. That's all. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Saiji.
Okay, thanks for your question. All right. So any other questions for anybody about meditation or about this today topic, dependent origination?
Saji, just now
Okay.
you all were talking about the perception, Tanya.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, Saji. Because my understanding on the five aggregate actually is not not to say my understanding. It's just that like sometimes the mind, something to do with the feeling, perception, and the consciousness is sometimes I can't get off mixed up. So I just want to clarify when you talk about the perception.
Okay.
When people say you have prejudice against somebody or something, so is that one is pertaining to perception, right?
Yeah, it's also perception. Yeah.
So when
Perception can be, all these are considered, I would say it's more little bit perception is like you see something, the judgment come very fast, When you see the flower, how you perceive the flower? You perceive it's something beautiful, right?
yeah.
So do you need to think a lot the flower is beautiful? Do you need?
No, it's like
Yeah.
auto.
Yeah, auto. So the perception is there in the first place. So when you see the dung or like cow dung or chicken dung, your perception is already there. It's something very loathsome.
Yeah.
But if you live in a country like India where they use the cow dung paste on the wall, right? So you see the cow dung as something that useful, But when you talk about like you see somebody, you think the person is bad towards you, the perception come because of your relationship with him or her, So it's like underlying current, underlying emotion there. Yeah. But actually, that's why in the five aggregate perception and feelings, they are considered as important part. That's why they are taken out from the cetasika, mental factor. We have the 52 mental factors, and these two are taken out because they are play important role in how we see the world. Okay.
Sai, do you have any like what do you call meditation practice that you would recommend so that we can like kind of like help us to break the prejudice, like against a person or something?
Still go back to Satipatthana, Satipatthana is be mindful of your body, be mindful, Kayanupassana, be mindful of your body, be mindful of your Vedananupassana, be mindful of your feeling. Then the next one is the consciousness, Chittanupassana, be mindful of your mind. Like when you see somebody, your anger will come. If the anger comes all the time, then you must be mindful. Why do you have anger? Is it somewhere to do with how you see him? Or is it feeling to this person? Bad feeling will come. Why? Actually, in intensive meditation, you're supposed to not, just meditate all the anger as impermanent suffering, so you don't get so carried away by the anger. But sometimes when you have private time, you have to consider why is it every time you get angry. What's the reason? That means that you are trying to use your wisdom to destroy, So that's why I say you need to study smart. You also need to study in a hard way. Meditation also, you need to meditate in a hard way, but you also need to meditate in a wise way, in a smart way. Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that one would
Yeah.
be the meditation, like in your day to day.
Yeah, right. Meditation is actually, when we're talking about meditation, what is meditation? It's talking about mindfulness, right? Awareness. That's why in like Mahaji Center, we have actually 3 sections. One is the sitting meditation, one is walking meditation, another one we call it daily activities. Daily activities mean when you're washing your plate, you go to toilet, you open the door, you change your clothes. So these daily activities in the intensive meditation really help us in our daily life because it trains us to practice the mindfulness, continuous, and help us to see more of our emotion in our mind, you know. So this is one of the practice that I recommend for everybody, you know, because people thought meditation is just sitting or you just sit and sit and sit. But actually not. Meditation is another, in Pali we call it bhavana. Bhavana is a mental training, a mental cultivation. Actually, the meaning of meditation is really try to train your mind to reduce the all these unwholesome things and to increase the wholesome qualities in your mind.
Can Sayang just give a one simple example, like meditation for the daily life? Just one simple one.
Very
so that I
simple.
can-
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we are supposed to see cause and effect in even in dependent origination in Patana. Cause and effect is very simple, you know. For example, before you open the door, there must be one intention of wishing to open the door. Because of that intention, then the hand will stretch out. So if you really be mindful of this intention, then you can see it's the mind that leads the body. Then you can see Nama Lupa already. Okay? So if you be mindful, you can see cause and effect. You can see Nama Lupa, mind and matter. You can see the relationship between mind and matter. You can see the mind is the controller or initiator. The body is the one that capture, really doing the command, acting the command out. Yeah. Then if you see very clearly, then you can understand only mind and matter, nama lupa, there's no I. Then you understand what the Buddha mean by non-self, anatta.
Oh, I see. So in our daily life, like whatever we are doing, you have to be mindful of that action.
Right.
And
every moment.
every moment.
Every moment.
Okay.
So by this, every moment you can see like mind matter. Then it reduce your ignorance, reduce your delusion, your moha, and it reduce the craving, you know. So if the parami is fulfilled, even like Buddha time, there are many people become enlightened, you know, just it's not in sitting, not in walking, like Ananda. You heard the story about Ananda? When did he become enlightened? It's not in the moment, out of 4 posture. Not at the walking time, not sitting, not lying down. But when he was like half lying down, before the head touching the pillow, at that time he became enlightened, you know. So he is the one of the Arahant that become enlightened out of 4 postures. Because of Parami, because before that he was busy taking care of the Buddha. So he neglected his practice. Then during the first Buddhist council, everybody were the Arahant except him. He's only Sotapanna. So he feel that there's an urge to practice well, to attend the first Buddhist council as an Arahant. That's why he tried all days, all night. But because his effort is too much, then he checked himself, because sometimes he has enough wisdom and he has heard a lot of Dhamma talk from the Buddha. He know that his effort is too much. That's why he purposely go to bed just to reduce his effort. So at that time, he just the head going to touch the pillow, just going to lie down. So at the time, he became Arahant. So at the time, he still continue practice meditation. He practice the body, noticing the body action, and then just continue the mindfulness until from the Sotapanna all the way to Arahant. You know, second stage, third stage, and the Arahant, the 4th stage. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Saji.
Okay. All right. So any question? If not, we'll stop now. Yeah.
slightly.
Yes.
Normally in my daily life, I found that I'm not able to be mindful of the intention. It was much, maybe it very soon after that. Then I
Okay.
saw the intention.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I feel that that intention is most probably from the perception. That means the knowledge that I read or I listen to Dharma talks. So it's a, to me, it may looks like more of perception rather than awareness of the intention, because things has happened already. Then I realize, oh, there is an intention. For example, opening the door or doing an action.
Yeah. Right.
So how do one actually become more mindful in that sense?
Do
How do I
you
catch it?
can you differentiate between the intention and perception? Can you differentiate between these two?
It's a bit blur most of the time.
Okay, all right. So
Mm.
that's why in vipassana practice, we are just practicing the walking, walking all the way. Then we note the intention. First, note the intention to walk. Then walk left, right. Then at the end, standing, then intention to turn. Then turning, then walking. So we are practicing repeatedly, practicing the turn action again. Just, what's the purpose? Just for the mind to really understand the intention, yeah. To be skillful in noting the intention to walk, intention to turn, intention to lift the foot, intention to push, intention to put down, It's a very simple action, but it's really make the mind very sharp until the mind really can understand what is intention. Intention, the feeling of intention is something that like somebody call you, For example, I give you an example, like when you drink lots of water before you fall asleep. So when you are sleeping, then there's a very strong urge want to go to toilet. You have that experience before, right? Definitely. So it's like somebody call you, somebody call you, go to toilet, go to toilet, go to toilet. Or for example, you eat something very bad and then you really got stomach pain, So you try to be relaxing, but it's like somebody can, you must go to toilet, yeah, you must go to the toilet. So that's intention. It's like somebody really urged you to do something. The strong intention. Like intention, we say sometimes in terms of karma is the one that intentionally action is created by the karma, chetana. It's like somebody urged you to do something in terms of good or bad. But normal intention is like intention to go toilet, intention to do this and that. That is the intention. So to notice the intention, you have to practice the simple action again and again until you can really clear this intention. And perception is like how you view. We call it how you view the world. How does the world, your environment appear to you? Like you see the flower. Do you really need to tell yourself, the flower is so beautiful? Do you need to tell yourself? No, right? You see the flower, you just like it. Why? The perception already take part already. It's already we call it really change the way, or it already sharpen how we call it, shapes the way we see the world. There's Ajahn Chah, this famous statement. He said he see all the cup he used as broken. Why? Because he want to destroy the perception of the cup is beautiful. So if you see the cup is broken, so when the cup really get broken, you don't get heartbroken also, right? Okay. Because sometimes we have a beautiful cup, we really like it so much. Yeah.
But that is also a perceptions of perceptions that that it has a nature of breakability, ma.
Yeah. So we instead of try to see, like we see anicca, dukkha, anatta is a right perception, but we see in a wrong way. We see things as permanent, beautiful, belong to us. So this is our perception about this world, So the Buddha actually tells us to have change our perception to the right perception. Yeah. But it's difficult. There's not only through meditation you can change it. Yeah. So next time you have a cup or a plate with you. So you view it as a broken already. So even like your handphone or whatever. Yeah.
Assume there's a crack line already.
It's true. I say when you buy a new handphone, So people sayang the handphone is so beautiful. So instead of seeing the handphone as a new handphone, you see already broken already.
So
Okay.
draw some lines on the head.
Yeah. My tablet one time been fall on the road, so it has a line on the surface, you know. So I don't mind because it reminds me of impermanence. Every time I use the handphone, it's already got nice. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's anicca to me also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So if no question, we'll finish today. All right. So dependent origination. All right. So anyway, somebody invite me to do some retreat in Luna's Kedah side. So if you have time, anybody, all of you, anybody got time for 7 days, can come and join me there. All right. Okay. See you all. All right. So we just put very quick. So maybe share our good merits with our departed one, with all sentient beings. So may those who need of our merits can obtain our share of merits and be well and happy, be free from all suffering. All right. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Aduh.
Thank you, Sayaji.
Thank you, Sayaji.
Okay, bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sayaji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
see you for
sadhu, sadhu,
Bali class
sadhu.
tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah,
Bye.
take care. Yeah, good night
Okay,
and take
everyone.
care,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night, Sayaji. Con